Thank you, Cosman, Feyer, and the team from Versailles for organizing these conferences. I think it's a great opportunity that we can come together and sharing our different thoughts and projects in that 3-day conferences. My subject matter today is us in political engagement in Hong Kong. What I'm trying to do is using different examples of artists' work and projects in response to different social political incidents in Hong Kong. And hopefully you can give us an overview of what art is actually doing here in our society. When you come to instigating political change, art is usually the last thing to be viewed as a useful tool for the purposes. Politics and art are also contradicting and opposing in nature and agenda. Politics have to be really concise, sending a clear message, give an impact to the media, and being really clear to the general public. But art, in opposite, a lot of time we like to keep it rather ambiguous, not saying it directly, so that it can provide the thinking space for the viewer. So in this sense, probably art and politics is really difficult to work together. Political events embrace contents or some selling point that are swift, direct, and influential, while a long creating process behind each artwork is also preventing it from being able to respond timely, and also especially in the fast-changing political atmosphere as well. But there, however, many examples I can share with you that is artists employing art in the service of political engagement. Today, I'm going to start by sharing the work from several artists in response to the Article 23. Here I have an image which is a massive demonstration against the Article 23 back in year 2003. This is one of the biggest demonstrations happened in Hong Kong at that time. Basically, it is because at that time, the Hong Kong Basic Law Article 23 is the basic of a security law proposed by the government of Hong Kong. But somehow in September year 2002, the government released its proposal for the anti-subversive law. It is the cause of considerable controversy and the division in Hong Kong, which operate as a separate legal system in accordance with the Sino-British Joint Declaration. People in Hong Kong has a strong reaction against the bill to result it in a massive demonstration, which happened on the 1st of July 2003. That was the day the Hong Kong Special Administrative Region established. The people has a strong reaction because that law basically has a danger to suppress the freedom of speech. And people feel like it is the very important thing we always have in Hong Kong, and that's why we can be freely speak and express our opinion. So everyone just like go to the street and form this one of the biggest demonstration. The aftermath of this demonstration is that 2 executive committee members, they resigned and the bill was withdrawn after it's become clear that it would not get the necessary support from the Legislative Council for it to be passed. The bill was then shelved. But the protest continue because it's a very important message. We don't think speak it loud once is enough, and we have to repeat it, saying it loud to the government, and also reminding the people in public. It became a ritual that people in Hong Kong will go on the march every year on the establishment date as to deliver a clear message and the determination from the public. A lot of artists have been using it as an occasion, as a platform to make some artwork in response to different new policy or new introduction from the government every year. But first of all, I'd like to share a piece of work from Park Seung-chun, also known as Tosa. Tosa is known for the documentation of trans encounter and also unconventional use of daily objects in his artwork. This piece of work is called A Present to the Central Government. The work had two parts. The first part was take part during the march in Hong Kong, that the artist laid down a piece of yellow fabric in Hennessy Road in Causeway Bay. All the marchers will walk past it so that he can collect the footprint from the marchers. It's as a witness to the march. The second part happened about 2 weeks after he collected the footprint. The artist bring the fabric back to Beijing, China. He tore the yellow fabric into tiny ribbon, then tied the ribbon around the Tiananmen Square. And afterward, a collaborator untied it from a distance. You can see the map here. The work is a very poetic gesture as well as a quiet protest in response to various new policies introduced by the central government to Hong Kong without really thinking about what is the right thing to do or was it suitable for Hong Kong, is it the right situation for us. But this is only the very beginning. Once Park, he said, Hong Kong people has a general resentment toward our history. Sadly, today will become another date in the history, and it will become another resentment in the future. This was a statement made by Tozer on the December 2006 in response to the local activist movement as part of the Star Ferry Pier and Queen's Pier preservation protest against Hong Kong government's decision to demolish that very iconic cultural heritage structure. At that time, Park took a $1 Hong Kong dollar and brutally scraped the sign with the profile of Queen Elizabeth II against the ground until it completely disappeared and leaving a long mark on the ground. This work was shown in Harmonious Society, an exhibition in 2014 at the Asian Triennial Manchester. The artist has invited the general public to donate the $1 coins from the colonial time to him. He has started the whole campaign in social media like Facebook, and also he set up booths in Mont Court and meeting different donors and in different MTR stations as to collect the coin. He is trying to examine the vacant colonial relationship by creating that work with the help of public from Hong Kong and Britain. The artist then bring the work to UK and invited British citizens to scrape the coin and gate the land of Britain until the profile of the Queen slowly vanished, leaving a long scar on the ground. For the artist, it's like a metaphor to the 150 years of colonial history and its imprint in Hong Kong. In colonial era, the coin was connected, is the connection between Hong Kong people and the British Empire. And now the link is broken, and it calls for a moment of reflection of the past and the future. Another artist who always trying to respond to different social incidents and using protests as a platform for his artwork is Casey Wong. Unlike Tozer, Casey Wong is use a very punchy and loud approach. He is an artist that always addresses the social issue as well as producing artwork annually for the 1st of June protest. He is unafraid to tackle uncomfortable and controversy issues. This is a piece of work called Kidnap. It is response to a recent incident in 2016 against the mainland Chinese government conducted illegal capture of Hong Kong citizens, British citizens, and citizens of Sweden by producing some book which is out of their consent. The vivid image of this of the artist performing is actually become a very key image for that incident and is widespread in the media. Another piece of work is quite an effective work, and I found it full of sense of humor. It's called Brainwash Machine, and it was made in 2012. Obviously, it looked like the artist is wearing a washing machine on his head, like as a helmet. And you can see there is a wet light and several components. The square slot at the front is actually 4 different slots as reference to the component where you can put the detergents. They have 4 different categories. It's that freedom, democracy, justice, and conscience. The artist stood outside the central government office and asked the passers-by children to save him from being brainwashed. That simple interactive art actually attracts a lot of children and encourage their parents to take this opportunity to explain the meaning of the freedom, democracy, justice, and conscience to their children. It was to engage the moral and national education program, which was trying to be introduced by the government on that year. This is one of the really hilarious work, and I love it a lot. As you can tell, it looked like a pink tank. Again, in year 2012, the Hong Kong government tried to set up a cultural bureau. The official they were trying to appoint actually wasn't someone we believe who has knowledge about arts and cultural policy, and also has a suspicious communist background. Obviously, professionals from Hong Kong, they have doubt on this intention of this implement and worry about the bureau were actually trying to use it as a tool for suppression. This performative sculpture takes the form of a tank from the People's Liberation Army. The artist actually just used cardboard to build on a trolley so that he can move it easily and join the parade. He also dressed up like a communist officer, wearing the Chinese tennis suit, playing the role of a real cultural bureau director. Funny enough, the photo was published on one of the communist papers, Dai Gongbo. The reporter didn't know the ironic meaning of the artwork. Creating iconic cultural symbols through appropriating and re-envisioning their contents in a way of getting the message across have been used by artists. And I think I can share many examples of this, how artists using this as a way to deliver their messages. However, some of the artists think it might not be the most effective way of expressing an opinion. I want to share here a work from Chow Chun-fai, an artist I really respect in Hong Kong. Chow Chun-fai thinks it is more effective by casting their vote or join the demonstration rather than making us as an artist. He does not buy into the concept of political art all the way, yet he won in the 2012 Legislative Council election as an artist. Chow is well known for his work that contains direct transforming the memorial movie scenes and subtitles into canvases, just like the one I'm showing here. And that is a frozen moment of popular scenes were isolated from the original story that create an open-ended story and allowed us to interpret in our own way. Their narrative are consistently changing with each situation. New chemical, new reaction reinvented when it is displayed with other artwork. The subtext is not simple nor straightforward, requiring the viewer to rethink and construct narrative meaning relating to their own situation. Maybe that's why it's exactly what Chow Chun-fai saying, an artwork can never be direct enough to tell the messages. But somehow he is the first artist in Hong Kong to defend cultural rights by partaking in the Legislative Council election. Despite being busy in 2012, it was the least productive year for the artist. The election actually absorbed all his attention and energy away from the art practice. Although the result is quite disappointing, he wasn't selected. But the positive attitude in the public, which we'll harvest in the future, that's what we believed. The election highlighted the vulnerability of our position and encouraged us to better understand the system. This all actually started from an incident and happened to Hidden Agenda, which is underground music venue in Hong Kong, in Kwun Tong District, which is a trigger that leads to a series of actions showing the unhappiness from the cultural sector. And despite being vocal in their criticism of government policy, their efforts transpire into hopeless silent noises. That's why Chao Chun-fai realized that the only way to bestow our right to speak is to position himself within the system. This is an image of the artist hanging his application for the election. Here I want to share with you another artist. He himself is not just passively making artwork to deliver the message, but trying to get involved in the system and speak for the people. Luke is widely acknowledged as one of Hong Kong's most active conceptual artists. He challenged the social system with a good mix of humor, responding and interrogating the cultural and political collision occurring in our city. His response to question the politic and also the cultural clash in the city with his characteristic method of discussion. The artist actually obtained a security guard license in 2013, which is actually the shirt I saw here on the left. He actually worked as a security guard in various museums and institutions as a part-time job, but also as an ongoing project. The practice actually coming out from his spontaneous observation on the government museum. He saw that a lot of security guards in the museum have to be standing there on their feet the whole day, even though they're working for very long hours. When he tried to ask for the reason, and he was told that if the seat was provided in the museum, they would easily sit there and fall asleep. That's why they cannot have a chair when they work. The artist started a campaign back in 2007, but he realized that only sending in complaint letter, collecting signature from the public is probably not enough. He has to put himself in the same shoes with the people. That's why he goes through the training and become a security guard, a licensed one. Lucky enough, he actually got his first job assigned to be in the Hong Kong Museum of Arts. So he was really excited, collect the uniform and getting ready for the new job. Well, but actually, he is not an unknown artist. When the collectors see the list of the new security guard, including his name, they quickly call the security company and ask for a replacement. Since he has already collected the uniform, so he just as normal bring his own chair and go to work as it was planned, and take the picture with the exhibition. It was the exhibition at that time. It was the Hong Kong Contemporary Arts Biennale. He was taking pictures with all his favorite artists from Hong Kong and what he liked. After that, Luke rarely got an offer in cultural organization. Sometimes he got some offer in some public leisure facility, just like football ground, tennis court, and also the wet market. Once I saw him near the wet market by where I lived. But the campaign is not finished. He is now not just campaigning for the museum guard, but also other people who aren't treated fairly at work. Recently, he started a campaign for the cashier in the supermarket. He is, again, requesting the chair for them and also the permission to bring a water bottle to the workstation. I remember I asked him, is it going to be your next part-time job? We don't know yet, but if you are interested in what he's doing, be friends with him on Facebook. Okay. The presentation changed slightly from work from artists to extend out to some long artists and general public. I think everyone is familiar with this image. It is a press image during the umbrella movement. It is a political movement that emerged during Hong Kong democratic protestation of the 2014. The name arose from the use of umbrella as the tool for passive resistance to the Hong Kong police during the occupation, which was sparked by the decision of the Standing Committee of the National Police Congress, which prescribed a selective pre-screening of candidates for selection of the region's leader. On the 28th of September 2014, tens of thousands of Hong Kong people went to the street and support the student at the Hong Kong government headquarters to engage Beijing's decision over how the city's leader will be selected in 2017, which is this year. The movement, originally known as Occupy Central, disturbed Hong Kong's busiest financial district for over 2 months and changed the city's political landscape forever. The umbrella movement has attracted worldwide attention. Even more impressive is the intense burst of creativity during that movement, which is very exceptional in Hong Kong, that provides us a totally new definition of political and community art, actually. The whole city displayed a really creative and collective effort. It is not just the artists, but everyone joining in the movement. We have rarely seen that kind of things in Hong Kong, and I believe it is not common internationally either. People making full use of different forms of image, text. They use icon, music, dance, performance, and also they use different channels. They put on poster, slogan, banner, graffiti, as well as use their body, and of course, the social media. And one of these I really like to mention is a project which is an interactive and online intervention called Sent by You at Oil Machine, which one of the artists is also here today. This is created by a group of art school graduates with Samson Wong. It is an online platform for people from all over the world to leave message of support, and the message collected are projected onto the wall of the government headquarters in Hong Kong every evening. It's positioned parallel to the whiting of the linen wall. It collects millions of messages, including from other areas of global conflict, protests, and war zone. This level of exchange and engagement resonates Hong Kong's political situation on a local to international platform. We embrace a sense of global unity and hope the strength for the people. I heard that the website actually has been repeatedly shut down during the process, but the group has tried to collect message through Facebook event page. When I was researching and preparing for this presentation, I tried to look up for the website and the Facebook page, but I can't find it anymore. Apart from work created by artists, I really want to give in more focus on the work created by the general public. To begin with, there is the people making the work during the movement when they are occupying the street. They probably doesn't have the sense of creating art in their mind, but they just think they want to share their emotion, their opinion, and their voice need to be seen, need to be heard. This is one of the very important work which I think will come out from the movement. That's the linen wall at the government headquarters. The wall actually is made up by a lot of colorful post-it notes and carrying people's message, also their wishes. And when you see it from a distance, it looks like an infinite and extending piece of work. It is an intimate moment when you come close and see it, but when you really look from afar, it actually is a very powerful and also visible work. It plays next to and opposite to another banner, which is line from Emergent. It says, "You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one." I think it really it really shared what people are thinking, what the protesters thinking in this difficult time when they are standing together and doing something. It looked impossible, but it is a dream, and a dream we all believed. Another piece of work which I think is a genius invention and is origami pieces. It might be hard to tell from this picture, but actually a lot of students, when they were gathering on the street, they trying to do something to kill time, but also have an intimate moment, is that they use some really cheap material, just a piece of yellow paper, and they fold it into a little umbrella. This is not just an icon for the overall use of the movement, but also it become an insulation and also the extended developed into different art form. Somehow when I look at that, I just feel like it gives a kind of gentle and tenderness to that protest. But as we all know, this is one of the most peaceful protests probably happen in the world. The other piece of work, every time I look at it, I still feel quite emotional. It's the banner with the slogan of "I want real universal suffrage," hung by the highest point of Lion Walk by the Hong Kong Spider. Hong Kong Spider is a group of professional climbers. Hong Kong is really hilly, so it's perfect for that kind of sport. And I remember that happened kind of after a while the occupation had taken part. So it come to a point that it seems like going nowhere, not much progress. But the Hong Kong Spider, they surprised us with this banner. It's a huge banner, but they make it privately without leaking any news. And the next day when Hong Kong people wake up under the sunlight, we saw this encouraging big banner. The work probably doesn't have any artistic technique, but it's a very clear message. And I think what is genius is about the truth of the location. It is not from a financial building or any other, just a high-rise point, but actually Lion Walk in Hong Kong, for the citizen in Hong Kong, it is a symbolic for poverty, but a belief that if you work hard and if you are persistent, then you will eventually reach your goal. Today, I try to split my presentation to focus on artists' work and the work from public, because I believe art is not just something from one direction, but it actually could be happen in our life, not just from artists, but also initiate from the public. Art as a political tool might not be the most effective, just like we reading newspaper, there is so many things happening every day. When you turn the page, how much you can remember about what happened yesterday. And it's now coming to the third year of the movement. How many people remember what exactly happened? Maybe we don't remember the details, but the work created and the image will always remain with us. And thank you.